507 Aurora Avenue, North Seattle, Washington, 33, Unit 329. There are various lots. People are like the whole building. By the way, there is a floor is actually shaking and rocking. The bums under my floor, and this is 10507 Aurora Avenue, 1. Passing a black Nazi faction here, and they are trying to get a hold of like your eyes, the black. They have threatened to have me fall through. There is actually three policemen from the Seattle Police Department and North Precinct. Officer Bobby is west. And there was a female earlier, and I caught it might recording, which is hard with a cell on in a gender's room or crawl spinning. And I didn't have anything running, didn't have any fame, but I'm going to tell you, this whole thing could fall down. Blood. And then connect with Asian street gang members. Just this place. It's all of Washington is under the grip of retarded people. And murder, identity theft. By the way, they're missing Americans, hundreds of them. And Americans, people, I actually believe they're satanic. I'm not really that worried about Americans that may have disappeared, because most of them seem to be satanic zombies. So these are rapists. They're in on rape, murder. They're in on snuff movies. I don't really know what to call them. Pornography, rings, sex. What I call get a bunch of gangs together, and they may into an indigent that has maybe she's unrecognizable, scarred, and like I said, even with that, worried only about other countries, because there are 50 British and Europeans and 2 in that person that they've bragged that they've eaten. And by the way, these bums are so crazy. They thought they building people would in the apartment, and because she didn't want to kill someone, and it was for a black, and I think it might about me or someone else. But what the black Nazis love to do, they're cowardly people, and they think it's very clever. And the Bloods and the Zetas like to do this. The Asian street gangs, they will portray that you are doing something, and then with release propaganda, and they'll have literally thousands of people, or even if it's dozens, inflamed against you, with maybe fabrication that you are a prostitute who now made public one of their favorites. Maybe every time you're having an orgasm, maybe you are a child molester, and then you have cheated on your loving boyfriend actually exist. And by the way, I'm telling you that what after a while evolved in all the things they have sort of, you're crazy, but you're being dragged away. So you're only, by like your wallet, you better capture them. And then, but then what you realize after a while is that anybody who responds to this sort of stimuli, you realize there's something going on, and they're only, and so you realize everybody's retarded after a while, and I'll tell you what happened anyway. What happened 13 years ago is that you have to invent an emotional IQ to explain things. If you have to give, make a language, then something's up with the intelligence. Okay? Well, anyway, those kind of morons and crack whores and bums of all colors, different colors, maybe not all colors. They programmed everybody, and I believe they all died with Satan 13 years ago. It was, I say 13, it might have been, people were headed that route anyway. And, criminals that wouldn't care, movie stars that were their soul even to be famous. So you have celebrities, sort of like, well, the fall, and you think it's great. It's Washington. Began with different totals that I've heard. There was a war, by the way. I think it was. There was a war, and then everybody was pretty much destroyed. And then was people were reformed by, I'm writing down some, taking notes as I talk. By the way, there are some horrors from Elizabeth Gregory, including Daphne here, and then Leona is possibly here. Leona, they're both very fat people, but I'll tell you who they are. With Whittier is all here, and then two other, Shakur, the dead rapper. But anyway, so there was a war with Satan, and the that went with Satan fall, basically. And then you're going to hear them on playing, and they sound like a cartoon moronic bear, a moronic cartoon dog, or lion from one of the cartoons. They use animals, and I'll tell you, people are into Satanism as I've are also animal sacrifice. Like they were talking about how they heard of money. And what they'll do is hang out in the judge's room, and those horrors for Elizabeth Gregory. Oh, don't forget April. She's Sandra Caddis's daughter. She likes to hang out. And I'll hear a clipping noise. And they'll tell me that they're cutting up the animals like nail clippers, like shot out of it. They'll have the animals mouth taped up. So these target bombs have rabid hatred of animals and life. And then in their viewpoint, say there's on a pot. Well, believe it or not, the ducks were actually like really more, not smart scientists, and we're talking idiots. They were taught how to do this by Satan. So if you take apart like the duck, even the ass, and change it on carpentry and maintenance quite heavily, so that people can just patch up a room or a floor. And so what would happen if I fell through the floor? Well, because there's dirty cops involved, they would simply fix the floor. Aurora DSC, this is Unit 329, and there is buildings, and there are government grants. Some, by the way, will break practically in building laws. There's one set of laws they're violating. Obviously, government grants, or even grants by like private building to be used for the poor. And but let's think of the grants from the government. Now, there are several types of units in this building. Unit, I don't think not. So I don't. Low Income Housing Institute. So anyway, these that's first. Though electricity is included in the price, or we actually tell people that they're turning off your water and your electricity, and it has nothing. Your average shopping cart, and inform you he or she is an X, and so there is nobody left in Washington. Tens of thousands destroyed, and they're zombies, so there's no reprieve for them. You don't need to worry about saving them. If anyone was sensible, what they would do is actually just destroy the word euthanize. And I believe the black Nazis should have been euthanized. And what these people have practiced, including them, which makes them practicing survival of the shittiest. Universe. And so anyway, they'll find out when a policeman or a rescue too, including either portraying that they're arresting you. So AMR, American Medical Rescue, is involved with dirty cops, and themselves pull. They'll shoot you, and then they will pick you up, and then you wouldn't or Nazis, friends apart, doing a brain operation and take even just poke a vital as a friend who will do that. And I'm telling you, the place under my bed is shaking at this moment, and it's so that's actually dangerous. I have this broadcast on so I can sleep. Now, if I stuck the phone down, you would actually hear someone talking behind the floor. 229, since it's on to 229. You're done. And when you fall down, then they maybe stab you. Maybe you don't know what they'll do to you. They'll debilitate you. Have like a tub full of acid that you'd fall in. And that was there was a mechanism I felt. 4 years later, some gang member is telling me about how they had at the LaSalle hotel dump you. And that she herself wanted to protect stuff at a certain point. She talked about a secret intelligent. So they're in alcoholics, and they also like to come here. They'll have sex, and they'll plot with the crimes and reference. I don't think it's a copy water poisonings, and not only they'll rub it around blood. So I should have mentioned that they will blood or person's blood in our pipes are in the or like other pipes to stretch around. He said, we all go in it. We all do. We indentured. You're indentured. So one of the states that if they go to the bathroom you or have ejaculate or menstrual blood on you, then they think that you're going to be cursed and you're the whore, the bum of the world. Well, bums, you're always, here's a nice curse for them. You're made of vomit, phlegm, pus, semen, urine, and fecal. You're made of it. You're made of it. And your water or food. Now they're in on water poisonings. They'll absolutely brag that they are in on and they'll put radiation down into people's pipes. They've done that to me for years. One of the black Nazi retards, one of the other retards, he was bragging. He said, if we throw acid, he said, 52, we'll keep using 51 chemicals. Some of them are under of the anyone nice or normal or pretty and talented. Now you're going to see some pre-zombies, and by others that they favor into pretty, or so let's say it's a crack for and one of their favorite, or the soul of some. And remember, they don't have a soul, so just morons. So they feel powerful, oriented, fouls. All you have are more foul, dirty, crazy hideous zombies. And then they'll say, well, we got people, sick people who want to watch illegal footage, and you have to be pretty much sick to be like innocent. That was because I can't drink the water. I have to bring in the water if I want to drink it. So I'd die of thirst. I would die of thirst, and I would get sick. They'll think, well, we're going to keep her enslaved, so she's not going to leave, and we'll keep her sick fucks. There are sick bastards, excuse my language, that will pay money for someone being tortured. And remember, now they're doing things that a lot of attacked everyone in the U.S., their own ancestry and themselves, and their favorites, real favorites. They're talking about a pilot. They have connections with pilot Nazis. He made a threat because they're always trying to indent. There was a smelly black Nazi bitch a couple days ago with a round head. He was telling me, you're going to be on the phone all the time. I know what the gang members are doing, because it's not typical for an ugly, smelly bitch that's a stranger to come up to you and tell you you're going to be on the phone all the time. He meant in slavery. So they even have plots where the black Nazis, they'll enslave people and make them mobs. And their favorite type of slavery is so terrified they won't tell on them. So if you're walking around and they have slavery plots inside here, work. So their favorite type is a slave. If they can't kill that person, they'll terrorize that person into doing slavery. Like, let's say they get a social security check. So if you think of the illegality of this, it's quite illegal. I to Guthrie. I'm at 107 Washington, 933. I'm in quite a lot of, according to what I've heard. Crazy. I know about the gang members. People actually, if they're that desperate to get rid of you, and of the North and West Precinct are involved, of Police Department themes, and I'm 105 Seattle, Washington, 98133, and this is U.S. By the way, an ESP is talking to an airplane, and he's playing Leaders, President, and Ball. And what is he talking about? Talking about chakras. None of the so the game, like, is they are doing things illegally. And so when they have the dirty cops, they all insist that it's legal the game, and literally have thousands of people after you in an area, if not tens of thousands. These are gang members. These are zombies. They're instructed. With the click of a button, you can have on the pictures, videos presented as because these gang members, some of them were talking to me yesterday that are no good. They're gang members about, homeless people, a lot of them at Greg home, and then they're talking about homeless people, and they are missing because of also the bad people they're connected with. It's like loops around. So, like, let's say they've sprinkled me with well, then missing Americans that are homeless and who had them sprinkle me with glass is Nazi, or they're connecting with the black Nazi that they were concerned about. It's a person. And so, and you can let the curse, but it'll strike. And these bums are using the paranormal. Why shouldn't I be able to do? Now they've stolen my powers, believe it or not, by stealing soul, chakra, aura, and spirit, and they have none of their own. But this department is heavily, and the Hispanic Nazis, how it started years ago, and they were bums, and smelled chemical, didn't like it. Asthma, just kept sensitivities, chronic. The North Precinct person who was paid as aides, well, or just people involved with business, ever really end up protecting the gangs. He had me gang raped. He had me portrayed as a prostitute, and then his name is Officer Bobby, and he's one of the ones. Here go. These are all sick bastards that follow along, and so they all need to be euthanized because, like, a number of live video, 106 grab her, or like her husband, she has. But note about these homeless people that are involved in, like, some of them are directly involved with people, or indirectly involved with the very people who not only themselves disappear, also had their disappear. Called they're homeless people, and they sleep out on the app. Call them Avrats, and she's so into it. She's that homeless, but she sleep out on the app, according to her. A picture of the people, and they've lost, some of their number. I think 3. Well, she's involved with the very gang that made some of her friends disappear. I'm sure of it. Get through the door or the window. They can do a number of things to get lift it out, and they can have that are puttied in, very dangerous. And then they can, if there's a very handy, and if it's next in another apartment, well, you can count on those people. They will be inducted. They will be inducted. Will also be either A, forced, or they will be boosted by word, or maybe those people are around, which is less likely. I wouldn't even listen to an excuse like that. There's that one speaking. She earlier, because I crashed, she's kind of a crackpot. So I'm going to be quiet while she's talking. What you'll hear is someone inserting odd things into the conversation. Like, oh, they might be talking about, and then all of a sudden, talking about, yeah, the axe is over by the door. Let's repeat it. Now, 6:30 is breakfast here. I don't go to breakfast, even though I rent here. I would have to have everything packed up by then, and people would touch my stuff. I'll have keys, and they're filthy. It would be glass. As the horde slipped the conversation, and she just mentioned backpack. Please forgive our trespasses, around the blood. They're now talking about shooting and backpack. So you might not be able to hear it because also the Seattle Police Department gang members won't let that stop them. They can get you under the floor. If she sounds crazy, that's your average bus drivers are sick. Like the other day, there was a creep who had menaced me. It was about a big guy, like 2 days ago, and he was in green, and he looked retarded. And the gang member bus driver did one of the favorite things members like to do. They'll hit the person glass off that with cleaning it up. So Nazi bus driver never seen anybody with as many scars as you. And then he stated that's raped, and it was 2 days, and it was like early afternoon. It was a 45-year-old. One of the bums is playing evil woman. What the gang members and typically they'll call as their planet, and the black Nazis, like you've seen, like where they're calling everybody a white devil. Well, actually, they fell Satan because they are inferior, just like the crack and the others. There are potheads involved with the after thinking before. I'm trying to figure it out myself. I mentioned there was a phase where there was like a war. So people involved with this fall of Satan and to sort of reform everything. Thanks. A lot of these bums rely on false permission and arcade. Actually use the bed rocking, and that sort of, it's not in rocking it. I through there that okay, or I've awakened to this before. Here's somebody picking at the wall from Tricord, the North Precinct. So the thing that he comes by, or garbage, covertly, and then his door. But I'll tell you, they use the apartments or to conveniently go back and forth from all in the janitor's room to the other, including he would have a gang member run his apartment after. Note that run water, all they do is they hang out in that room where the pipes are fecal, phlegm, humiliation, big, ugly dog, playing on my to taunt, and also to listen to any private for them. They're horse playing, peeing and urinating in my water, and actually happening. I want to show you your or 1,000 years. It's an ugly. Tell you people was white, and then there's of them, including from North and the. We've all got Leona. She looks like she's about 6 feet tall. She's got a huge hips and breasts that dangle to her waist usually. But she is here, and they're here to threaten rape and slavery and murder. Blood, so if you want to do the splitting, those are bloods. My bloods. Usually Zeta's in the building. They're playing best year. So they think they're going to be. They're still an ugly dog. It's been 15 years that they fell with Satan, and they have to be aware though. Some people have used my shadows and aura to look better, and I'm not going to let them do it. They're playing cool in the world like to call me a dog or dog. Teach the black bitches today at Greg, she's a dog. She's already a dog, but she threatened me. So I basically told her she's not going to get away with kicking me. You're a dog stuff, I told her, which I will, and I'm not going to put up with any me or kicking me at Elizabeth Gregory here. Report them, deal with it first. And the whore learned that I would deal with it. And sneaky hoe. Black Nazis are inferior. The were not up to par. And no advantages for blacks ever. They're extreme advantages. They'd be sitting in the fucking dirt. Shut the fuck up, bitch. And that's about it. Nothing to you except smelly ass hooker. Exercising. Remember, I could fall down, and that could be the end of me. The address again. It is October 20th. They're in identity scat. That's one of their other main crimes, of course, is And you might even, well, it's not just find yourself in a barrel of bums a variety of ways. To note that these bums, it's Nazi programming. But the Bloods and Zeta spend moronic GM. And well, also the city of Seattle, the security guards, shut your black Nazi slut. A black Nazi whore. Shut your fucking yap. Nothing you say is important. Your tits would be dangling in the dirt and that you're trying to destroy. So shut your fucking monkey yap, bitch. In the wall that are in a janitor's room. I can say anything I wanted to. If I wanted to use the N-word, I could. Where am I? If I wanted, what? There are no apartments on either side of me. They were janitors. Well, it's not legal for janitors to hang out in the janitor's room and threaten to kill you. So nothing they induce me. Well, it's not normal for a cop to sit around with a stinky, psychotic, black Nazi cunt that thinks she's married. You could smell her, you know what, and pretend you're on an investigation after she gave you filet smoked crack together. So that is not an investigation, and it never has been the last 13 years. They've also had dirty cops present like hidden video. This is Lisa Guthrie, 10507 Aurora Avenue North. I'm in Unit 329. Talking about how there are smelly black Nazis, other morons that are in the janitor's room. And legal police, no police cuts up little animals in. If the Seattle Police Department is involved, it is not legal. Apply, even if you're a policeman, and it's not legal, obviously, which I shouldn't even have to say, to sprinkle someone's possession, including the food. And so just note that none of this is normal. None of this is legal. But see, Washington is, including by black, nobody left. One thing about how they need to teach me manners behind the wall. I'm just going to come out meaner. Putting up with your shit, and I'm going to tell everybody. So what this primitive mentality is telling me, they may will suffer, but she won't, and she will do what we say. No, and so they threatened to cut my tongue out later, and there was a plot to be found with and maybe or and then yesterday the black retardos and the other crap, they were threatening to have me dressed in the same outfit. You make a bunch of unintended look better. We have decent, nice, talented. You have them dressed, in a garbage in their pants, and threats against me in regard to going to the bathroom. So the spirit world, and they'll have them attack people. But we're at this building where they'll try to hold you captive, so you're in your apartment, and then you're a movie for sickos. They're going to have you start for them, like maybe you'll do some labor on video, and you're just a joke by the time they're done with you. That thing that opens his door, one of them, he walks by. And usually, he's the one who lives by the bridge. he might be available during a time when there's a high kidnapping. Oh, a fat slob named CJ is here, sure, and her mother, American, kind of like a 16 size person, 16 person, and CJ has a really big weird face with neck ruff of fat, and she's very ugly, and she sounds bad. So CJ, she's actually in the janitor. They're behind running water. There's a whore in the wall, and she's playing "You're So Abusive," and she just playing You're Going Driving. So we make you a kidnapping threat, and it's a retard. You can hear him water running in it, and so he's making a retard zombie threat, and they're playing Manners, blah blah blah. The day of Manners that comes in. I don't have manners to shit. Or with shit, and you're all shit. Go to hell, bitch. They're playing The Bang, I'll have hot at the ATF. And so, church. Dirty Nazi Black Hole is playing Obey Church and yapping. Shut your fucking stinky yap. You're a turd, you ugly fucking hooker. Just shut up. You're all shit, tart, moron. Chest. Dirty black Nazi morons and other shit can think they can tell you what to do. It's time for Homeland Security head in and then put her behind the wall. Remember, Seattle Police Department's involved in disappearances. Can I answer 300 or more disappearances around the police departments of Americans, and then 50 missing aren't missing? Well, they've used dead ringers and identity theft, and somebody communicating, sounding like that person. Even think about this. So let's say it's somebody with an accent. They don't want to go on the microphone. And just talking about torturing me. And the thing is, you tell on people that tortured me. And do you think he's safe? No, I'm not going to let it happen. Just like that ugly the son of hooker named Sunday. Her name is Sunday. She's with her. It's a man. So they've named that there's 20 of them. So I might have to call the ATF soon. And they've probably gotten to the ATF and said, oh, it's crazy, it's a whore station. And tanks roll in. And everybody gets arrested that's a policeman. Dirty Sting said, I'm going to have your son done in as a rapist, you fucking black Nazi cunt. Always a needle threat on the 45, but especially the E line for standing only. Also, like arm slashing threat. saying, how do we cover up shooting them, blah, blah, blah. Black Nazi hookers and the other shit, they're pretending they're warning me. Oh, yeah. Nope, Sunday's a hooker that is a gang member. She's psychotic. I can't believe a word she says. Either in high security mental institution or prison, like the other shit. Talking about condoms and rape, and gangbangs and rape. So gangbang is a rape. Oh, the black Nazi hooker involve your coat so you have nothing warm. So that's Sunday, and she said, I just got to have that coat. Kill all of you is what you'll have. Please. So I'm going to curse all these people. Cursing them from a perspective of psi. You should make sure all their chakra areas hold nothing. And you can do that, like they threatened me. They actually threatened to blow open my door with a bomb because I wouldn't open it. I think that was one of the other. Keeping everybody from having any chakras, calm them out. And work hard on the black Nazis. They've gotten too much protection. And if you think you're safe, is light-skinned in Italy. These people have threatened people in all the major NATO countries. And they've threatened. So picture making sure nobody has anything in their chakras at all, because they're not meant to have any. They're green zombies. So you'll hear me muttering curses. One. And she's shaking chains. Empress is, well, the favorite. They like to promote lies, and so nothing they say can be held for truth, even if it sounds like it explains something. So they made the glass and portrayed that I picked acne. I haven't had acne. I had maybe one pimple, a couple blackheads, nothing that would cause the devastating scratches all over my hands and arms. And one of the whores is playing We're Gonna Have a Full House. And they just took back and blew out like Spirit. Police headquarters. Doesn't mean Americans can be anywhere. I mean, males that stinks like a garbage dump. Cursing people who harm me. There are no other legal broadcasts of me ever in this apartment, and the only broadcast that was legal, it was like pretty much one minute. Any video of me, like, from the air, any funny camera angles, and a lot of these bums they'll do is portray that it is a window, like it's your apartment changing. She's even with shades, a normal person might be a little paranoid, thinking, oh, I hope there's no chink in the blind so someone sees me. So yeah, camera angles, like let's say I had I had the net hardly, and that's where I was getting raped, and I only had the damn security cameras, and I looked like a black woman. The security terrible at detecting light. Oh, one of the bums is in the bathroom area. He thinks he's very magical. They just took uterine. He's chanting, chops up all black Nazis permanently, you fucking moron. He's playing all day, all night, all black Nazis. So being legal or true. And in fact, April, that's Sandra Katowitz's daughter, she was saying, we're going to have paperwork and say that you did it. Us from this building rights away. This is a slow going video, but I mainly have, actually there's no camera right to restart this, so I'll restart it. But I have this on for my own safety. I'm going to restart this.